Well, hello, y'all. For me, today went pretty well again. Not the same excitement as usual, but I think it was still pretty fun, to be honest. I woke up just a little bit late today, but we were still on time, technically speaking. But I wasn't able to have enough time to physically go to the park and play a little bit of volleyball. So instead, I just decided to feed the birds and take a lift inside my homemade gym. So I got to lift, and tomorrow in the early morning, I'm actually going to wake up and play on the local park. I think I meant to say park and not the beach, y'all. So I'm sorry, but now we're going to step straight into school. So I hesitated a little bit, and I joined the local friend group. Shout out to you guys if you're watching this right now. So you guys are watching, yeah. But I finally began to realize though is that in the morning, it's when everyone gets scared. Like you just barely woke up. Like you don't want to be in the social center and in the loud noise. Even then, I don't like my first period teacher because he gets really active in the morning in terms of teaching. But what I'm finally beginning to realize again is that in the morning, when I'm trying to find and look for a bunch of random friend groups, I think it is probably one of the best chances that I'll actually ever get. So I'll talk about it later in the video here. So that means if I want to explore, that means as a person who's a free agent, I can just go into the buildings where the students are myself and then check out what's going on in there. Obviously, I'll get stares, but if I am to break my own social chain of hesitancy over time, I'm going to obviously have to do that. So it doesn't matter how I feel if I feel kind of shy. So I'll keep on going anyway. So for assignments, y'all, I got three assignments in Spanish and it's super, super annoying. So it's my first period is Spanish, so I really don't like it at all. But thankfully, I did later in the day, so not too much of a challenge, except it did take away about an hour of my time. In Spanish, if you guys want to know, I definitely know I have a Spanish audience here. We're still learning to try to write tenses for verbs. So that means, let's say for this video, hice un video de mi para Instagram and YouTube. So I did this video. I'm doing this video for YouTube. So we're learning that right now. Not really much, but I think I still get it, to be honest. So in PE, this is where it kind of let down for me. So one half of the period for PE chat, I just decided to run for 10 minutes, and then obviously I went to go play volleyball by myself. I took one of the hard volleyballs and practiced by myself. No one really decided to play with me, and that's fine. But then again, the other half I decided to return it and give it back to maybe another team that wanted it. So I know you were probably watching Cosmic Girl, so yeah, big credit to you because you took my volleyball. But yeah, honestly, out of that, the rest of the time, I just kind of was on a little bit of self reflection, to be honest. I didn't really want to join the volleyball team where my other friends are because there's too much chaos going on in there. Let's be honest. So I was going down the stairs and then I checked out. There was a teacher who was calling out, as I was in the middle of a lot of the social noise. There was this teacher of another class. He called out three boys that were out of bounds. Essentially, they're right by the gate that led to other classes. The teacher called them out. So basically, we were outside, and then for a few seconds, the teacher went. I think he went to grab a whistle or something. For a few seconds, he stopped, and then again he went back, and then he called them out again. And eventually, I think he told. I heard that he was about to call security on these boys. So eventually, I don't know what happened to them. It was interesting, but it definitely took away a lot of my time since I was spending the last half of this. I eventually went down and asked to talk to a bunch of random people. There's two people here. I don't think it was enough time. We only talked for a few seconds, so I don't regret not talking to them, but I do regret wasting my time distracting myself on that teacher situation. So it was three boys are just messing around near the gate, I guess. Not really much. So again, at lunch, definitely hesitated because I went to go talk to another different friend group. Credit to you guys again. Um, I tried to look for other places, but I realized the wellness center isn't really open, and I don't really want to be in the outer edges of the lunch period. So, great place there to be honest, but I kind of hesitated because there's so much social friction to break. To be honest, there's multiple people, multiple nodes, and multiple people to meet, and I was kind of scared. And because there were so many choices, I just kind of froze in pressure. So I just headed down to give some big credit to you guys. And if you guys saw that picture that I sent you, I hope you guys liked it. So, but other than that, lunch I kind of hesitated, but it's fine, I guess. So not really too much. Later on during these next classes, not really much. Talked to the security guard, but this was something that was really major. So remember that I'm still reading off of the script. I talked to the security guard nearby as we were in passing period after lunch. I asked him about his regrets and what he failed to do in high school, and also he was on his earpods. So he told me that he regretted not talking to people. He regretted he had this fear of being criticized by others and having a lot of social shyness. And what I'm beginning to realize is that this is definitely something that's universal. Even today, there's still a lot of people that are shy of joining into new friend groups, that are shy of criticism, shy of being seen by others. And I'm beginning to realize that's also my fear too that I'm beginning to break over. So definitely, I learned something new from the security guards. Definitely security guard lore right there. But I think that was interesting because it's definitely a universal theme that I'm beginning to see here. But I hope to do something in honor of this because, well, I'll say it later on. So later on, as I said, y'all, nothing really much, not too many assignments. My brother wasn't at school today, so I had to walk home. My sister was preparing for a date. I don't know why, and my brother, I believe he was going back to work, I guess. And then, they eventually left. I mean, not really much, but what I'm finally beginning to see here at the end of today, y'all, is that in honor of that security guard chat, I think this time I might jump to friend groups in the direct social center, all right? Because he was shy and he regretted not going up to people. I think this time, y'all, maybe during both the morning period and lunch period, I might jump into friend groups straight in the middle social center. So it's like an introvert entering into an extroverted place. I know it's scary, y'all, but I'm doing this in honor of the security guard, in honor of his lore, in honor of his version of him that he could not go. When he was younger, he was shy. So I want to be able to avenge a part of him. So Tomorrow, y'all, I'm gonna be back in that social center, back into where that friend group rejected me, back into the same place where we were once called out, and back into that same place where we're gonna meet a bunch of new people. It may not be the matches that I've been looking for. They may not be the exact friends that we may meet, but I'll enter anyway because I do want to interact, and I'm very curious about meeting new people, I guess. So that's definitely something that I'm going about there. So now, after a little bit of reflection today, like after I went home, regarding my emotional side, I'm finally beginning to realize with myself, chat, is that every time that I look at a girl who's attractive, or let's say, or conventionally attractive, for example, or someone who I think is attractive maybe by their merit, let's say, for example, like a teen girl who's singing like on Instagram or something, or let's say, for example, someone who I think looks cute and is trying to do something maybe while I'm walking through lunch break, for example. What I'm beginning to realize, y'all, is that I don't hate girls at all. Absolutely not. But rather, when I look at someone who does look cute, or when I do look at someone who I think could be a match, I'm beginning to see that I'm like beginning to resent myself so much. Really means that I literally have zero romantic social life. But I mean, that girl out there online who's on Instagram, she's probably like singing, making a bunch of singing videos. Let's say that girl in real life, for example, she's probably down in her friend group. I'm beginning to realize now is that I am resenting myself so much because I don't have why don't I have someone like her? Is literally like my emotional question. Why haven't I found romance? Like love is not my primary goal yet, but it's a secondary one for now. But still like begs the question. Every time that I look at someone who does look attractive, what does it reflect about like my own romance? What does it reflect about what it is now and what it's going to be in the future? So that's in here. It also asks if many people around me are stuck in their own social chains, if many people around me are stuck in bad habits, can I still find love in a hopeless place? All right. If you guys get that mentioned, big credits to you. And it also asks the question again, if I am an unbound agent, if I am not arbitrarily locked into any friend group, no one watching me, like no one's keeping an eye on me, then what is my goal in school, to be honest? Y'all? Like if I'm a leader by merit and personality, then what do I do? I know a lot of people like need my help as a person. Like you could maybe help me as like video editing, or maybe if you really need help emotionally, I could do that. But where am I to find these types of people? Like within the social norms, like within all of the other people, where am I to find these people for myself as a thought leader? Whether they need my help or whether they're just asking for me. Question is, at least today for me, is that where are we to find these types of people that need our help? And how much more time do we have until it's too late for them? Like essentially, how much more time until they collapse emotionally? So definitely the big question.